Hey y'all, welcome to Mama Mysteries, the channel that brings you interdimensional content, which means that the readings are from a broad and expansive point of view, as they are channeled through vast dimensions of space and time, and therefore should resonate with you guys whenever you come across them. Guys, I'm sorry. I'm actually so sorry for the lack of consistency. Like, it just all gets a little bit crazy sometimes, and yeah, that's really all I can say about it. My bad. And I'm always gonna try my best to show up here because obviously, hello, y'all. This is the community. This is the people. We the people. So like, yeah, my bad, yo. I'm gonna pull some cards, see what comes up, and we'll talk through it. Yeah, let's get spicy. Let's use this tarot deck. I think it matches my outfit. Also, it matches the feels. Matches the aesthetic. So I hope y'all have been good. I know like the whole Lionsgate's like energetics came in quite strong this year. Yeah, like peeling back quite a thick layer of the self. Revealing something that you can't really explain yet, but is coming into picture, coming into view nicely, slowly. A lot of grief also, I guess, around changing. I was saying to some of my clients how grief is a natural process of just being. Because of evolution, because of constant evolution, grief becomes a natural emotion, to be honest, because a constant emotion. The constantly like letting go of a version of yourself that, you've outgrown, outlived, and stepping into a new version does leave you in the state of grieving what used to be. I know people think you only grieve when you loved or liked that which is no longer, but even if you didn't, even if you totally were not into who you used to be before, even if you begged up and down and fought so hard for the new version of yourself that is now emerging, you're still going to grieve the previous version of yourself. Grieving has nothing to do with whether you liked or didn't like the previous situation. It's just a natural state of, it's a natural emotional pattern that comes with release. And grieving doesn't mean you wish that thing was still here. That's another emotion that can accompany the grieving, if especially that which you're grieving is something that you liked or loved or preferred, then it can come with the feeling of obviously wishing that it was still here. But grief in itself is quite a neutral emotion. It's very much neither here or there in terms of, yeah, you get what I'm saying. So yeah, Lionsgate seemed to have, energetically entered with that. It was like the first foot in the door was just like the grief, the replaying of certain situations that are a big part of the change that's occurring right now within yourself. The replaying of certain emotions, but also a connection to new allies, it feels like. And when I say allies, I mean, so a lot of you may have like realized that you have kind of uncovered connections to new ancestors, to new entities or more entities, or yeah, just like new spirits, if you want to call them that. And that may have started off with, like, fear, like, what is this? Feeling as if like you're in a dark place or something like that, only to realize no, the energy that's around you is just new. And as you know, that which you don't understand, you tend to be afraid of. So, yeah. And what do I mean when I say new ancestors? Like, what I mean new ancestors, because the ancestors you have access to at a specific time all have to do with your, like, level of consciousness, so to speak. Like, at what level do you process reality? That will be the ancestors you're connected to will be a frequency match to you at that point in time. They got the same problems you have. Like, but then as soon as obviously you transcend whatever karmic cycle that they also represent, then you tend to get connected to different ancestors. And you may find that the ancestors you're connected to now are very different in that whereas before it was expansion through clearing of karmic cycles, now it's expansion through now it's more like expansion through becoming. Like, you're building your actual personality. And I think that's like kind of scary, and it's crazy because it's like, we're all adults here, right? It's like, what? I have a personality. I'm a whole like adult and like whatnot. But it's like, do you though? Or was your personality just made up of all the, like, was it made up of the different templates that society was offering you? Like, were you just copying and pasting from everyone around you? Take a little bit of this, take a little bit of that. Like, are you like your father? Are you your mother? Are you your grandfather? Are you your high school teacher? Like, do you get what I mean? Which was fine, especially while you're clearing through karmic cycles. That's all you get. All you get is copy and paste. But having done enough of that to take you to the next step, you're now in this like phase where you're building your own personality, and that's kind of scary. That is kind of scary. And you're still using certain tools from the social construct, but then as tools, you know what I mean? Not as very identifying, taking the skin, putting it on you, and oh, now I'm Spider-Man. You're just wearing Spider-Man suits. Like, you're not doing that anymore. Like, now you're using it as a tool to create your own unique personality, um or to uncover your own unique personality, which in this case is the same thing. And it is kind of nerve-wracking, like I said, um because with the templates of personality, right, that you're offered by the social construct, the social construct has made it clear which ones are good, which ones are bad. So, like, they basically, it's like they construct you into a certain person to go down a certain path, whereas when you start kind of building your own personality, it's different. Like, it's different. Sometimes maybe you have a certain quality where if you match it to the social construct, it's part of what the social construct has put in the bad bag of templates. But because you're putting it together with this other thing and this other thing and this other part of you, it actually creates quite a completely different thing. And at the end of the day, these are just ingredients. So maybe it depends on what you pair it with. I remember on, what's that show called, you guys? The one, the time one. What of time? I don't know why the other word is running away from me. But anyway, that lady speaks about how, what's the difference between medicine, and a poison. Dosage. Dosage. And it's kind of the same with this. Like this building of your new self, or building of like this personality, this divine personality. That's what I'm gonna call it. The building of the divine personality is that there may be certain aspects of yourself, certain characteristics where, again, if you match them up to the social construct, they were put in the bad pile. But because you're not like, it's not standing on its own within you, you've paired it up with different things. The dosage is different. So it becomes something else. It's a medicine. I mean, unless you were trying to make a poison, which, do you? But yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. It feels like, but I expect people that honestly, truthfully speaking, that whole category of like morally gray type of thing. Like how anime characters are, they be weird. Okay, right? You always get the one like, oh my god, I just want to be good and fight for the people and like whatever, whatever, and I don't care about my life and it's all about the whatever, whatever, right? But the most interesting characters, the most interesting characters, you know, like there's always some kind of like moral grayness to them. I think even in those characters like that, like, women are into in like those dark romance books and stuff like that. Also, that's not morally gray. They're psychopaths, but like in terms of perception and how like I think women perceive those characters, like, oh, it's morally gray. I'm gonna take it because I'm making this example. But as long as we all understand in real life, bro, those are psychotic men. Like in real life, may that relationship never find you. What the fuck? But yeah, I think when you transcend duality, when someone looks at you from a perspective of from duality, they look at you and what they see is morally gray. So yeah. Yeah, you're finding your own way. This is like my favorite card in this oracle deck. You're finding your own way, but not just your own way. This is past the whole your own path and whatnot, but even your sense of self. It's like you've been given certain examples of ways to be. And so the ways in which you've created yourself were always just filling into something's shoes, something that already existed. But now you have a chance to create your own sense of self. And you can only do that by giving yourself the freedom to be, to experiment, to explore, to dabble. You're creating something original. Is that not a godlike quality? I know y'all get scared when I start talking like that. I quickly get ahead of myself with you guys. But is it not? To imitate that which is already there, there's nothing wrong with, right? Because I think there's also an educational part to that. In that part, you're learning God skills because that's what you are, right? Apparently, a God in the making or a God in the becoming. And maybe people never really reach that part because, I mean, I don't think the social construct like encourages you to, but you can still use the tools and you should. that they do give you, but also because I think also you're encouraged to almost be afraid of that. Everybody talks about how, like, in spirituality, like, oh, we're all gods, or um you have God within you, and wada. But as soon as you step into the, like, parameter of that energy, that godliness in you, you're so quick to run away and say shit like, oh, that's dark, oh, that's evil. It's like you expect the godliness in you to be, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, to be a good little child that follows the rules and follows instructions. Like, get the fuck out of here. Ah, yeah, and I think that's what this next card represents. Like, you're finally stepping into the part of it that I think that's what differentiates you from everybody else. Or maybe this is the part that's what differentiates God from the rest of us. Like, the willingness to go where no one else will go, the willingness to experience and explore and touch the parts of yourself. That's gonna sound weird. Okay, let me redirect. The willingness to, yeah, just experience, like, everything in a way that nobody is willing to, in a way that you haven't been taught, that no one has directed you, and yet your own instinct and intuition longs to do so. And I think that is real expansion. And I think we're all curious, like, what does that create? What kind of life does that create? What kind of, how does this look like in the physical realm? Like, how does it manifest? Because a lot of you are cooking, and like, I'm curious as to, like, what does that look like? What does it look like when it's done? When it's now a living, breathing thing? Yeah, that's what I have for you guys. You guys, just a side note, like, have you guys ever experienced that thing where, I think this is some kind of a projection. Oh, this has nothing to do with the reading, by the way. I'm chatting. I think it's a projection maybe of, like, iNzunza or a certain entity that you walk with. Like, you ever just see someone and you, like, want them? Like, you want, like, is it desire? I guess it is. Like, you want them, and the more time you spend with them, it's like you get overwhelmed, because it kind of feels like your soul or your heart out there in the world, like, talking and breathing and walking around outside of your chest, and you can't claim someone as yours like that, but they don't know that, like, they are yours. Intense. So anyway, that's what I have for you guys. If the reading resonated, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you want to book a personal reading or a mentorship session, all that information is in the description box. And I'm gonna do better, you guys. I promise. I promise. I'm gonna do so much better. Worst case scenario, one video a week. Worst case scenario, one video a week. Okay, yeah, guys.